I still remember the exact moment everything stopped feeling like a joke. "Please," Emily said, standing in the middle of my apartment with tears threatening to spill from her eyes. "I need a fake boyfriend, just for one weekend." If she had asked me for money, I would have handed her my wallet. If she had asked me to help her move across the country, I would have rented the truck. But a fake boyfriend, that was new and dangerous. Because Emily Parker had been my best friend since freshman year of college. The girl who borrowed my notes, stole fries from my plate, and somehow made every bad day feel survivable. The girl I had secretly loved for almost 7 years. The girl who had never once looked at me that way. At least, I thought she hadn't. "Why exactly do you need a fake boyfriend?" I asked. She dropped onto my couch and covered her face. "My sister's engagement party." "That doesn't sound terrible." "You haven't met my family." I laughed. She didn't. That worried me. Emily lowered her hands. "My parents have spent the last 3 years trying to set me up with every eligible man they know. Doctors, lawyers, accountants. One guy who sold luxury mattresses. Sounds promising." "Jake, sorry," she sighed. "They think something is wrong with me because I'm 30 and single." "There's nothing wrong with you, I know that." "They don't." I sat beside her. "So where does the fake boyfriend come in?" She hesitated. "I told them I've been seeing someone." I blinked. "You already told them?" She nodded. "And now they want to meet him." "Correct." "And that imaginary man a broken bar." She pointed directly at me. "You." I laughed so hard I nearly fell off the couch. She didn't laugh. "Wait, you're serious?" "Very, Emily. This is a terrible idea." "I know. Your family will figure it out." "I know. We'll be trapped together all weekend." "I know." I stared at her. She gave me the same hopeful look she'd used in college whenever she wanted help. The same look that always destroyed my ability to say number. "3 days," she said softly. "3 days? That's all." I groaned. "You're impossible." A tiny smile appeared. "Is that a yes?" I should have said number. Instead, I said yes. That decision changed everything. The engagement party was held at her parents' home in Connecticut. The moment we arrived, I understood Emily's panic. Within 30 seconds, her mother had interrogated me about my career, my salary, my future plans, and whether I wanted children. "Mom," Emily said. "What? You just met him?" Her mother smiled sweetly. "I like to be prepared." I silently prayed for survival. To my surprise, Emily squeezed my hand. The gesture was supposed to be part of the act, yet something about it felt different, warmer, real. For a brief second, I forgot we were pretending. Then she let go, and reality returned. The weekend became a non-stop performance. We sat together. We posed for photographs. We shared stories. We laughed at inside jokes. The strange part was that none of it felt forced, because most of it was true. We really had known each other for years. We really had helped each other through breakups, job losses, and family crises. We really did know everything about each other. The only fake thing was the relationship, or so I believed. Then Saturday afternoon happened. Emily's grandmother pulled me aside while everyone else was busy. She was 90 years old and terrifyingly observant. "You love her." I nearly choked on my drink. "What? You heard me." I laughed nervously. "We're just friends." "That's not what I asked." My stomach dropped. She studied me carefully. "You look at her the way my husband looked at me." I didn't know what to say. "You're mistaken, number." The certainty in her voice scared me. She leaned closer. "The real question isn't whether you love her." My throat tightened. "It's whether she knows." Before I could answer, she walked away, leaving me completely shaken. That evening, a thunderstorm knocked out power across the neighborhood. The engagement party moved indoors. Candles illuminated the house. People gathered in small groups. The atmosphere became quieter, more intimate. At one point, Emily and I ended up sitting alone on the back porch. Rain hammered the roof overhead. For several minutes neither of us spoke. Then she smiled. "Thanks for doing this." "Of course, you didn't have to." "Yes, I did. Why? The question hit harder than she realized, because the truthful answer was simple. Because I do almost anything for you. Instead, I shrugged. That's what friends do. She looked away. Something about her expression changed, like disappointment. Yeah, she said quietly, friends. The word felt heavier than it should have. We sat in silence, watching the storm, listening to the rain, feeling the distance between us, and somehow feeling closer than ever. The next morning brought an unexpected disaster. Emily's father suffered a medical emergency. Nothing life-threatening, thankfully, but frightening enough to send everyone into panic. An ambulance arrived. Family members rushed around. Fear spread through the house. In the middle of the chaos, Emily broke down. I found her alone in the kitchen, crying, terrified, shaking. Without thinking, I wrapped my arms around her. She buried her face against my chest. I can't lose him. You won't. What if something happens? It won't. You don't know that. No, I admitted. I don't. For a moment neither of us moved. Then I said the only thing I knew was true. Whatever happens, you won't face it alone. She looked up. Tears filled her eyes. Promise. Promise. Hours later, doctors confirmed her father would recover fully. Relief swept through the family. Everyone celebrated. Everyone except me. Because something had shifted. Watching Emily cry had shattered whatever emotional wall I'd built over the years. Pretending no longer felt possible. Not after realizing how deeply I cared. Not after understanding that my feelings had never disappeared. They had only grown stronger. That night, after guests left and the house became quiet, Emily found me outside. The sky had finally cleared. Stars filled the darkness. Hey, she said. Hey. She sat beside me. Neither of us spoke for a while. Then she surprised me. Can I ask you something? Sure. Have you ever loved someone who didn't love you back? The question struck like lightning. I stared at the ground. Yes. Her voice became softer. What did you do? I laughed sadly. Nothing. Nothing? I stayed there, friend. Wasn't that painful? Sometimes. Why stay? Because losing you would have hurt more. The answer sat on the tip of my tongue. I almost said it. Almost. Then Emily whispered something unexpected. I think I've done something really stupid. My heart started racing. What? She looked directly at me. I asked my best friend to pretend to be my boyfriend. I smiled weakly. Yeah, that was pretty stupid. Number. She shook her head. You don't understand. Then explain. Tears appeared again. But these tears were different. Not sad, hopeful, terrified. I spent years convincing myself we were only friends. I couldn't breathe. Emily, a broken bar. I dated other people. She laughed shakily. I tried so hard to move on. The world seemed to stop. Why? Because I thought you didn't feel the same way. Every sound disappeared. The wind, the insects, everything. There was only her, and the impossible words I dreamed of hearing for years. You thought I didn't. You never said anything. I was scared. So was I. The silence between us stretched endlessly. Then she smiled through her tears. You know what's funny? What? I needed a fake boyfriend because I couldn't admit I wanted a real one. My chest felt tight. Emily, a broken bar. Yeah. I forgot we were pretending. Her eyes widened. Me too. And suddenly there was nothing left to hide. No performance. No fake relationship. No fear. Just truth. Years of truth. Years of friendship. Years of unspoken love finally finding its voice. I reached for her hand. She squeezed mine, just like she had at the beginning of the weekend. Only this time it wasn't part of an act. This time it meant everything. I love you, I said. The words felt like freedom. She laughed and cried at the same time. I was starting to think you'd never say it. Then she leaned forward and kissed me, softly, gently, like she'd been waiting for that moment as long as I had. Maybe she had. A year later, we stood in the same backyard where everything had changed. Her family surrounded us. Her father healthy and smiling. Her mother trying and failing not to cry. Her grandmother looking entirely too pleased with herself. See? She whispered as she passed me. Called it. I laughed. You definitely did. Emily walked toward me, radiant in the afternoon sunlight. The woman who had started as my college friend. The woman who became my fake girlfriend. The woman who taught me that sometimes love isn't found in grand gestures or perfect timing. Sometimes it's found in years of kindness, in loyalty, in showing up when someone needs you, in choosing the same person over and over again until one day both of you finally stop pretending. As Emily reached me, she squeezed my hand, the exact same way she had during that first awkward weekend. Only now there was no audience to convince, no role to play, no lie to maintain, just two people who had spent years helping each other carry life's burdens. Two people who discovered that the strongest love often grows from the deepest friendship. And as I looked into her eyes, I realized something beautiful. The best thing that ever happened to us wasn't that we fell in love. It was that we learned love is more than romance. It's kindness when someone is hurting. It's staying when leaving would be easier. It's choosing another person's happiness alongside your own. And sometimes, if you're incredibly lucky, the person you've been searching for is the friend who has been standing beside you all along.